Okay, so uh, last time we played, it was literally just we did a simulation. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so we did Eilish, Anna here, Reverend Byrne, and Ruda, along with a couple members of the Wombats, did a a combat simulation playing through some historical battle from earlier in the war, um, and uh, yeah, it was mostly just combat. They were given several different objectives and had to prioritize like where in this base they were going to attack first to maximize their you know how many points they can score before the game is over, essentially. Um, Zai, you pointed out this giant centaur chimera creature with the white
Mm-hmm.
face on its chest. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that is Adora's Nephilim that she can summon because Reverend Byrne had kind of an ascension after her time in the plane of thought. She has a updated character sheet with some new abilities gained, some abilities lost. And in addition to being able to summon this big guy, um, she can also summon legions of uh, the dead heroes of the faith kind of thing. So
Well,
she has these ghost people, and she can just summon huge amounts of them. Either one of those counts as her frame, so her like the equivalent of you being in your giant mech.
gotcha.
Um.
Hi.
Okay.
So wait, what exactly was the simulation about? Did I miss that?
Yeah,
Or
that was what we did the other day when several people couldn't make it, so it was just a handful of us, and we did a little mini game. Here, I'll if you pop over on maps, there's a new map called Simulation Area.
mm,
Um, it, I mean, it was literally like there was this ancient, like not ancient, very recent actually. This huge battle a few years ago. It was one of the first battles of this galactic civil war, and they had to break into this heavily armed like asteroid stronghold, and I think they were given a lot of objectives, but their key one that they had to do was they had to get to the defense control station and take out all the defensive turrets so that their
mm-hmm.
armada could get in close. But along the way, they had objectives like rescue this, imprisoned general from the brig, and take out, you know, these different parts of the space station to weaken them, stuff like that.
Okay.
Um,
And was the simulation just like, I don't know, they were just having a conversation. It was like, remember that battle? And you were like, someone was like, yeah, I remember that battle. And then
it
it
was
just
it was everybody had downtime after escaping the plane of thought, or not downtime necessarily, but everyone was kind of trying to get settled and clear their heads, and it seemed like a good um, good way to kind of stretch the muscles to just do a
okay.
just like a standard combat sim. Um,
Got it.
okay, so I'm moving us back to Versailles. Um, so since we have Adora here as well, I think we should just get started on the investigation, the
Yeah.
level, um, and then when next time we have Kevin and Lacey back, we'll just fill them in on what we discovered. Um,
So I think as far as what they're doing, we can just say that since we also have Claven with us, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Emil is just talking to Claven, and Anna here is helping him
Yeah,
in
I
some
like
way.
that. Okay.
Like they're interacting on some level, and we can figure out what happened with that when Kevin comes back and let him fill in some blanks.
Yep.
Like, what would you do if you met yourself, but yourself wasn't yourself and was just getting tortured a lot and had baby legs?
Yes.
I'd kill it.
What was that?
I'd kill it.
Uh, horrible,
Um,
horrible. It's been tortured, Morgan. Have you no sympathy? Where
For
is your
Claven?
heart?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So to remind everyone what the objective for the level is right now, Starfire has reported that there is a what's their organization called? Children of the Warp agent who went missing on this world. The agent is this guy here. His name is Farron Full Moon. And some places that we have to get started. We went to the Aelfin embassy, which is where he would have checked in at, and I believe they told us about the guy who he would have been staying with. Let's see.
Okay, let me see the turtle room, right? Or where'd it go?
I hid it because it was in the way.
Oh, okay. That was the embassy, though, right?
Yes. Vesper. Okay. I have him down here as Archdeacon. I'm pretty sure that's the title I went with for him. So, Archdeacon Vesper is a like ambitious politician in the region. His family has been secretly friendly with the Children of the Warp for a long time, and after Farron checked in with the Aelfin embassy, he went to he was staying at Vesper's estate while doing other things. Oh, I have a different note where I called him Lieutenant Bishop Vesper. I'm gonna go with Archdeacon. Sounds cooler.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Okay.
Lieutenant Archdeacon Colonel.
So, you know he was staying with Archdeacon Vesper, but you don't know what he was investigating. I mean, I think you have heard from from the children.
This guy's name is Vesper, right?
Let me see. No, that guy's name is Farron.
Okay, he was the one who was visiting Vesper.
Yes, he's the guy we're trying to rescue.
Oh, okay. Do we know his name?
Huh? His name is Farron.
Do we know?
Full Moon.
Farron Full Moon. Okay,
yep.
I should remember that.
So, we've heard from the Children of the Warp during their... Basically, the mission that Farron accepted was, there have been reports on this planet of unusual magical activity that doesn't line up with, you know, standard expected magic. It's like some new branch of magic or something like that. So that's what he was investigating. That is all we know about it from the Children of the Warp perspective. Anything else that he might have found would be in his notes, and we don't know where they are.
Okay.
So, places we can start would be find a way to get in touch with Archdeacon Vesper and let him know that we want to talk to him. Or we could start by just talking to people around the city and getting a feel for what's going on in this planet? Who are the major factions? Has anybody heard of any weird magical stuff going on? Anything like that?
I think we should do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because, yeah, we just got here not too long ago.
Okay.
We're not really familiar with the area, and charging headfirst into something without knowing your terrain is a bad choice.
Cool. I have a collection of NPCs up at the top of the map that I'm gonna drop in as NPCs come up. They're not currently active, so there is not just a huge horde of people standing outside the city.
So, is Adora still on? Oh no, Adora flipped out.
Huh?
Crap. Adora blipped out. She's not in the channel anymore, or in the chat anymore. Because I was gonna ask, like, does Burn look physically different? Like, would Burn going around, like walking around the city with us and like talking to people, would that look some kind of way to people? Okay, yeah.
So Adora had to hop out. Her surgery stuff is acting up, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we can go back to the previous plan, or
No,
the one that I
so,
wrote in scheduling.
So we do have. I can tell you what Reverend Burn looks like. So this is what I thought you were reacting to earlier. Just to the right of our party, the old lady with the angel wings there.
Right.
That is Reverend Burn.
Okay,
so
cool.
If you click on her and tap Z, it'll let you zoom in. She's very different. A lot of her body is...
I think...
Yeah.
So I think people in Versailles would have noticed her entering the turtle room,
Elfin Embassy.
Elfin Embassy area. That's the words. Thank you.
Ooh.
So even though she isn't with us, and Emil and Anna here are doing their own thing along with Burn, and like we'll get back to that, I think that the people of Versailles would have some level of hesitance around us, just like that looked like something on a goddish level, and
yeah,
who are you guys? Weird. Like, so, what?
The other thing I want to point out is that
it would cause rumors. Like, there would be a lot of discussion about it, I think, amongst the regular citizens.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to point out is that there are... So the majority of people in this city are Faunians, so animal people, similar to Paprika. There are, a decent number of non-Faunians in the city, but you are... most of you guys are getting looks.
Gotcha. Paprika, you're a Faunian, right?
Yep.
Was that yes or?
Paprika is a Faunian.
I think you're muted. I could hear in the real world, but I didn't hear on the on Discord. But yeah, so Paprika is a Faunian. Are there any Faunians of like the same branch or subspecies or whatever as Paprika here?
Well, actually, Aeneas, I want to get your take on this since you're the only person with a Faunian character. I'll let you answer this kind of world building question. In my original notes, I had said that all Faunians are born with just like a vaguely humanoid shape, and then when they at a certain point in their life, they choose an animal that they kind of like fuse with, and that becomes their animal shape. So you would have
Oh.
like a bear person and a dog person and a cat person all in the same family, and it all just depends on which animal they decided to fuse with. But plus sides of going that route is that I don't need to have any narrative justification for having a whole lot of different kinds of animals in this city.
Well, no, I think that's actually perfect anyways, because I was already thinking about the sprites that we used for my family in one of the previous episodes, and I remember like a lot of them looking very cat-like, whereas Paprika is closer to a bunny. So I think
Yeah.
it's fine that we just stick it with they just, they choose.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Like, yeah, we're all still families,
Cool.
but I wanted to be a cat and you wanted to be a rabbit. It's
So,
fine.
I think that
Cool.
when you get the sort of visual cohesion is less about family trees and more about it's almost more like your like profession kind of thing would be reflected in your racial appearance rather than your genealogy. It's like, are you the kind of person who would have fused with like a horse? Okay, well then you're blank kind of person, rather than just being, oh, you come from a family of horse people. So
yeah, for sure.
This city is primarily populated with cat people. There's some dog people and a couple bunny people and other varieties that you see around, but yeah. That answer all the
Okay.
questions?
Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, Ruda, your dad, I think it was your dad, was somebody high up in Elfin society, and the Elfin embassy area kind of like brought back some negative memories to you, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you stomped out of the room.
Yeah, my father was a big military general guy high up.
Yeah. So I imagine you would have been the first one. Did your character leave before Byrne came back all changed, or did you see her when she came back?
You mean just now?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of our last game, Byrne returned.
Oh,
Had
yeah.
Byrne returned? Did you leave before Byrne returned, or did you see that?
I think I saw that.
Okay, cool.
I can also fill in that after Byrne returned, there was we did a little bit of a time skip with everybody getting settled in, and that after that, like few hours or a couple days time skip is when what's her name, Starfire gave us the mission recap. So all of the characters have had a couple days with Reverend. We're not like
Okay.
mere seconds after Reverend Byrne reappearing. There has been enough time passed that things have settled down a little.
Okay, cool. So Paprika, is being in Versailles, like, how does this emotionally affect you after having seen your world, which was, I assume, at least partially populated by other Faunians? How does it feel? What does your character go through to come to this bustling city that's alive and full of people who probably look very similar to your family members?
I think there's a lot of sadness like in the back of Paprika's mind, but she is trying to see the positive. So I imagine that like this is actually cheering her up to a certain extent. Like it kind of reminds her of home. And she feel like it feels good to look around and see other people that look like you.
Good shit.
Okay.
So, Okay, so Emil, Anna here, and Byrne are staying in the embassy. Why do we initially leave? Are we just like, okay, we need to go out and explore the city? I would think that the place that we would go for information, just to figure out what's going on and get our bearings, would either be a place like a bar, and we know how bars go.
Would it be feasible for the party to split up right now?
I think that's doable. Okay, so here's the thing. It doesn't actually save us any narrative. It doesn't save us any gameplay time to have the party split up. Because we have to narrate them separately anyway. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say either bar or like to a governmental office, and I would assume it would be like I don't know, like a throne room or some kind of council. Like we would go seek out a council person.
Let's see if this will.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Like, either or. If we went to a bar or we went to see a council person or something, asking them about if they had any information about that dude whose names start with F's and I keep forgetting.
Farron.
Farron.
I have to ask, are restrictions typically followed in the real world also a thing in the D&D world? Because the only reason I really asked about splitting the party up is like, I don't think it seems appropriate for you guys to take a 9-year-old to a bar.
Actually, it would be. What kind of steps would you guys have taken to learn about the regional culture? Do you think that would have been like there was a general report that you guys all listened to, or do you think that you asked some locals about what to expect for local culture and local rules or anything like that?
I think if we've been here for a few days or for some period of time, then stands to reason that we would have some level of repair that occurred with the ship, and the ship would have been able to, I mean, while it's still not like fully repaired, I guess, it would have been able to give us some level of information about the area. So
okay, cool.
We would have learned like these points of interest, like the records place, the government place, the bar type place. We would have learned those locations probably from the ship repairs.
The most important thing to know about like the laws around here is that anybody from off-world is not allowed to leave the port city, which is the city that you're currently in.
Interesting.
Unless they have a local host, a host family that is sponsoring them and willing to take accountability for what they do. That's not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, that idea.
Was there a specific incident that sparked this law, just out of curiosity?
You would not have learned that in your basic thing, so you would have to ask around to learn about that.
All right.
Okay, so this is the hold on, let me look up what this dude's title is. Prelate. Prelate Giovanni's office. Okay. Primary temple. I do not. Okay, so I can fill in this one. This one is shopping mall. Zai, do you have any clue what I was going for with that thing that is all gold and blue?
What, this?
Yeah, the one to the left of Prelate Giovanni's office.
I was thinking that would have been like the council chambers.
Let's
Like,
see.
because that's
It
like a
looks like
scales of
no, it's
justice.
the courthouse.
Yeah, courthouse, council chambers, something to do with like a government facility, but like not the
it's
head
the
dude.
courthouse.
Because I would assume that to be Prelate. Okay, courthouse.
Yep, it's courthouse and government offices.
Why do I feel like we're gonna end up there at some point? And not necessarily in a good way. Okay. So one other question: why is Farron the F dude? Why is he in a room with Byrne? Like, they're not together, are they?
Oh no, he's not on this. We don't know where he is. I literally just was moving him out of the way.
Oh, okay, because I was about to move Emil and Anna here down there with her. So
yeah, good catch. Do that.
Which one is Anna here again? Is this Anna here?
No, Anna here is the red girl with the big whip.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
That one. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna click on all these things and move them to the map layer so we don't lose them.
Who is this?
Sorry, I'm looking somewhere else on the map. Who are you pointing at? What do they look like?
Machine gun doggy girl.
Liko.
Oh, okay. Liko.
Okay.
Cool. So the group going around through the city is Eilish, Roy, Paprika, Ruta. Are we bringing Starfire with us, or is she staying back?
No, I think she.
I feel like she should stay back just because she's like an extra character for us to play.
I agree. Okay. So I'm gonna move these three down to the place as well. Okay. So the four of us. We have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places on the map that we could go to investigate.
There's one that we're really close to. Does Paprika like shopping malls? Does Paprika enjoy shopping or I don't know,
Is
stealing?
Paprika allowed to shop? Does she ever get to?
Yeah, no, I don't think Paprika would be particularly interested in the shopping mall unless it had like an arcade.
Okay.
Yeah. Paprika is generally allowed to do whatever she wants to do. It's just that Roy takes every situation as like a new event. So he doesn't give her like large overarching rules, which is probably why she goes off and just does her own thing sometimes.
Right. Okay. So I want to write down what our primary questions are just to give us some focus while we investigate. So question number 1 is so let's start with culture questions. We had a question about why aren't off-worlders allowed to leave the city. Any other questions about local stuff that I can add to this list? Questions about maybe
Paprika would like to ask around, like, just about, like, are there any local rumors going around town? Like, anything that, like, townspeople have just been whispering about amongst themselves.
Juicy rumors. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything about the geography or the economy or the, I don't know, wildlife?
Not really, because I don't know how much of effect it would have on our current actions per se, but I would want to know if if there are any updated reports about what is going on in the current galactic conflict. Not like how has the galactic conflict affected this area?
Ooh, okay,
Would be more
that's different.
accurate.
How has the
Like, has it even visited this world? Do people even really know about what's going on? Is it the thing that's being talked about, or are they more concerned about like local affairs right now?
Yeah, I like that.
I'd also like to ask what people in the city generally think about is it prelate Giovanni? Sorry.
Yep. Correct pronunciation.
And a prelate rules over
Death of the Piss.
a
Oh,
rule over a
PIs.
particular region. And I thought they did anyway. Okay. For how do we feel about Prelate Giovanni? Okay. If there's no others,
I think the most obvious one is, does anyone here know Fair and Full Moon? Does anyone know where he is?
Did anyone meet Fair and Full Moon? 6. How about let's ask about the guy that Farron was allegedly staying with. What does anyone know about Archdeacon? Yeah, Archdeacon Vesper. What do people know about Archdeacon Vesper? Okay, okay, Fair and Full Moon, we should include one that is, any rumors about weird magic, because that is what, that's what the person was investigating.
Okay, so we got.
Okay, so
I think 7 questions is good.
Before we head out and start investigating and everything, I propose we put somebody on the ship in charge of getting in contact with Archdeacon Vesper and just saying, like, we want to talk with him at his nearest convenience. That way that can just be, like, rolling while we do all this other stuff.
I feel like Lyco would be doing that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Lyco or Starfire.
Yeah, sure. So we can just say whenever we're done with this scene, we can have him show up. Okay. So, Morgan, do you have any opinions on which of these places we should start for answering any of those questions?
Yeah, so, like, I'm thinking the mall, but
Okay. So which of these questions do you want to ask at the mall? Of the 7 questions I listed on the right side.
Ben, oh, sorry, in the chat.
Yeah.
I would say number 3.
Oh, yeah, excellent. Okay, so we...
Because I think, like, that's a good thing to ask in public, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. And,
Yeah, we could probably also get an idea of, since we're in the shopping mall area, like what kind of goods are being traded, what kind of things are being bought and sold, like...
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Are there, let's say, like one world made like chocolate a whole lot, but Echo fucked it up? Is there a chocolate drought?
So Ruda, I'm gonna have your character roll one of these skills that has to do. Oh, this is yeah, yep, nope. This is a straight up research roll. This is the textbook definition of research. So Ruda's going to do this roll. So click on your little Ruda guy. Click take an action. You're doing a research move, and you are using the research skill, which is under wit. It's way down by the bottom. No particular ability you're using, and I cannot imagine why you would have advantage at this. So no advantage. Oh, good, it worked. Wow!
Oh, shit.
Wow! That is
Ruda doesn't do well with research.
that is
damn.
a 2 plus 1 minus
What
1.
research is?
That is the second lowest possible number you can roll.
That's like I just loaded up Baldur's Gate after an update, and I'm trying to see if I can succeed at this roll type of roll.
It's so fit.
Okay, so okay, so unless you want to no, I don't even think that's relevant here. Okay, so I think we're just gonna take the fail. Well, here's the nice thing, because we don't very often get just like full-blown fails. You get to gain a point of experience. So open up your character sheet, go to resources,
Oh, thank God.
check off one more point of experience. You do still get to pick one question that was answered during your investigation, but we roll one of these clocks forward, and you get your choice of either we advance another clock, you suffer morale, or you have to pay a price.
Damn it. All right. What time is it on the clock?
We have a few. I think because you're asking about like what's going on with the galactic conflict, and it was a fail. I think that Echo locates the party clock should move up. Because I'm thinking about this area, just like, you know how the Nazis had like troops in northern Africa before they like actually started trying to make war and like take over territory and shit there. I would imagine there's some eternal dynasty, like maybe not like straight up soldiers, but people who report to them.
Yeah.
On this planet.
Okay, and it's not enough that, you know, this is not so much that like Echo knows where we are right now. It's just a little shift forward. We are a little more visible to the world than we were before. Okay. Oh, actually, that was just the first clock. Now you have to choose a complication. So, Morgan.
Wait,
the complication for Ruda?
Morgan, did you already get your question out?
Let's do the question last, because that's going to take a while, and I'm going to forget about the consequences. You're trying to weasel out these consequences, and I won't let you.
Consequences first.
Morgan, so now you're going to pick one of these three. Either you advance another clock, you suffer morale, meaning your like morale meter gets hurt, or you pay a price. I think Zai is clicking on the clock that is labeled Death of the Private Investigators.
Yup.
I forgot to even introduce, but we'll do that after this scene. So which of those three are you feeling, Morgan? I feel like because you're at a mall, pay a price might actually be weirdly pertinent.
All right, I'm gonna pay a price at the mall.
Okay.
Fun.
to pay a price because you don't, to my knowledge, have any resources. There is a thing. There's a thing you can get that is just like spare treasure, essentially, that you can use to pay a price without losing anything. Because you don't have one of those, we're going to have to choose some way that this affects you. And I think it's going to be... Let me look at your ability. I think you have to sell a bunch of your Gatling gun ammo in order
Have to?
Instead of like,
where do I do this?
How about instead of you have to sell a bunch of your Gatling gun ammo, what are these people called again? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it. There's too many F's.
Faunian. Like flora.
A Faunian urchin pickpockets Ruta and steals a bunch of his Gatling gun ammo, like a couple magazines.
I know. He's just into his pocket,
And
hoping he's gonna get
he
some
blames
coins.
it on paprika, but it's not paprika.
He's hoping he's gonna get some coins, and he walks away with just a fistful of like 30 caliber rounds.
Oh my god, that is perfect.
Oh god. Okay.
So like, yeah, on our next battle or whatever, like you won't be able to use your Gatling gun as efficiently or as often or something like
So
that.
what I'm doing is I'm marking your Gatling gun as staggered for now, which just means that the first battle you get into, you won't be able to use it. Every battle after that, it'll go back to normal.
Damn.
It's just going to be one battle you're not allowed to use your Gatling gun. That's the price. Okay.
Lost your bullets.
Okay.
Hold up. I just want to play this out right now. Does Ruta see the urchin or whatever, or does he think that it was paprika?
No, I think it's paprika.
Oh shit, paprika, he's hitting you with the all audience look the same shit. What do you do?
Paprika turns her pockets inside out to show that there's nothing in them aside from her DS, and then she points down the street to the person slinking into an alley holding handfuls of magazines.
I think it would be also funny, like a couple of little grenades and little mischief-making devices that the party didn't know Paprika had also fall out in that moment, but we don't have to like...
Oh yeah, for sure. Like a stink bomb also fell out of my pocket and cracked, and so now we have to move like 3 feet away.
Oh god, the mall now smells like ass.
Okay. Okay. Morgan, so you need to choose one question that you answered with your investigation. So I think what you were asking about was, were you
Number
asking
3.
about the galactic conflict?
Yeah, he did number 3.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like how it affected the world.
Okay, so, because they're in a relatively, like, nestled in, far away from all the front lines area, they haven't been too affected. You know, there's, like, the economy's on a bit of a downturn because everybody has to be, like, donating their resources to the war front kind of thing. But they haven't lost a huge amount of their population to a draft or anything like that. The one thing that is kind of related to the galactic conflict that has affected this world in a big way is the heresy that we mentioned during the galactic politics a few months back. Zai, do you remember what the name of that cult leader was? Not cult.
Salvador Rolex.
Salvador Rolex.
Yep.
So, Morgan, do you remember who this person is? I assume not.
No.
It's pretty,
how long
it's
ago
pretty
was
niche.
this?
Okay, so a while back when we did our galactic politics game, we mentioned that there was a diocese member who is becoming a like a heretic pope. So He's a member of the diocese who is essentially starting his own, like heretical church, a church that is not approved of by the diocese primary central governing body. So he's kind of like a rebel pope.
I see. So like he's our new nemesis.
Our party doesn't have any feelings about him. He's
Oh.
bad for the diocese pope, but I feel like our party, if anything, would be like, well, fuck yeah, fuck that guy.
All right.
But he has really shaken things up in the diocese, especially in this part of the galaxy, because his headquarters is, in a galactic sense, not too far from here. It's not on this world, it's not in this star system, but it is, like, not too many light years away. And so the local prelate, Giovanni, the person who's kind of like the planetary governor, is loyal to the diocese proper, the current pope, the like large central religious government. But there are some other people on the planet who are kind of secretly loyal to Savanarolax and are, rumor has it that they're trying to get us their allegiances are not to the same place that the planetary governor's allegiances are. I think that covers it. Cool.
Ooh.
Okay.
Cool.
Who wants to investigate next, and where do they want to do their investigation from? I would keep in mind those 7 questions there.
And keep in mind that the mall smells like farts now.
Yeah.
If nobody else wants to jump, I will jump. Roy says to the party, "This place smells like biologicals. We should go to the Hall of Records. And there, I would like to investigate. I want to investigate number 5. Because I feel like the Hall of Records or the bar would be a good place for number 5.
Yeah, no, I love that. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and click on your Roy and have him roll a research roll with the research skill, which is under wit.
Abilities, take an action, research roll. Wit. What is the wit thing? Oh, wit research. Okay.
Yep.
No ability, right? Yeah, I don't think that this would call for an ability.
Nope.
No advantage. No. I mean, he's an investigator, but yeah, actually, Roy is like a investigator type of person, and he's in a Hall of Records right now. Would he have advantage on this roll?
I'll grant it. I'll allow it.
Okay. And he has a robot, well, non-synthetic mind. Hey, got a 10. Roll's working. You done good, Bryn. You done good.
Okay.
Do I need to click here for results? Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 questions, roll the clock forward, 2 bonuses, and 1 complication. So consequences first. The clock I will roll forward is Farron Full Moon's Fate. I'm asking about him, so that one makes sense.
Yeah, totally. You're asking about him wherever he's in, whatever kind of danger he's in. You've made somebody aware that somebody is looking for him, and so whatever they're going to do to him, they are maybe more likely to do it to him faster.
Word. Do you move that clock or do I move it? I don't
I'll
know
move
how to
it
move
forward.
it. Okay. Let's see.
So now complications. You can either choose another clock to roll forward, suffer morale, or pay a price.
What are the Serenians again?
Serenians are the lizard people who live on the planet.
I want to roll that clock forward.
Okay. Yeah,
So that would be my complication, right?
Yep. Okay. So that leaves you with answer 2 questions. And you get 2 bonuses.
Should we do the bonuses first or the questions first?
Bonuses first.
Okay. Is there a bonus modal somewhere that I need to open?
No, so the bonuses are right above complications. You choose between either +1 forward per bonus, or answer 1 additional question per bonus. So you can do 1 of each, or 2 of the first one, or 2 of the second.
I'm going to get 2 more questions. So I got 4 questions.
All right.
Investigator Roy is on the case.
Hey, real quick, I'm looking at this clock that I made. I definitely did Roman numeral 4 as I.
Bad.
It's okay.
Bad. Bad Brent.
Every one of those
It's
clocks
the
is
early
made of 12
cuneiform
different
version of Roman
sprites.
numerals.
I'm not remaking that. We're just gonna live with that for the rest of the campaign. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
You were probably thinking like like the dashes where you like do 4 dashes and then a 5th one like diagonally through it when you're counting things off.
Okay. So because we don't have too many questions, I propose you answer 2 of the questions above, and then you pick 2 like clarifying detail questions to ask.
Oh, I answered 2 of the questions?
Yeah, so answer 2 of the numbered 1 through 7 questions, and then we'll do 2 more questions that are kind of like clarifying information, stuff that's not associated with those 7, just so other people have things to ask.
Okay, so we go into the records building, and first Roy goes up to the receptionist and asks if there has been anyone named Farron Fullmoon who has been in the city within the past year.
Okay. So that one has, you get an easy answer. Yes, and he left the city not long after he came here, maybe like a week after he arrived, under the supervision of Archdeacon Vesper.
Vesper?
Yes, Archdeacon Vesper. What I will give you that you did not already know is that he was briefly under arrest for being outside without supervision, but he was never taken in. He like disappeared. So
outside the city walls without supervision.
Outside the city walls without supervision. This was, let's say, 3 weeks after he left the city the first time.
Okay. Then I guess my second question would be, is there any information available about where Farron Fullmoon would have been going? Like, why did he leave the city walls? Like, what was he going towards?
Help me come up with a way that would be in public records. I'm on board with it. I just need a good narrative
So
justification.
AD Vesper is like a cool guy, chill bro, with like the prelate Giovanni, right?
Oh, he's explicit. Well,
Or are they explicitly enemies?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you. I think this is going to take up one of your questions, and it's not one you are intending to ask, but it's one you found along the way. Is that Vesper has been his family has generally been on good accords with Giovanni's family throughout the past couple hundred years, but he personally has not had a good relationship with Prelate Giovanni. He's had a couple what's it called, formal scolding when a government official scolds a lower ranked government official. Can't remember what that's called.
Gotcha.
And just in general, he has kind of often been in the political party that is kind of opposed to Giovanni's political party. Yeah. Okay, so given that
I think that the reason the place where we would have found or why that would be in government records is because Giovanni keeps a close eye on Vesper.
Ooh. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so in that case, that's how we get the answer to the where did Fair and Full Moon go?
Yeah.
He was traveling through the eastern half of the continent, which is called the Cyrenian Desert? No, the Cyrenian Marshes, I think. I don't have it written down anywhere in front of me. But yeah, the eastern half of the continent, which is where mostly the Cyrenians live. He was over there.
Good thing I moved up that clock. That makes sense.
He was over there when he was arrested, and he had the most recent kind of government checkpoint that he had passed before that was the mountain city that is kind of like the city that has the big tunnel that is the primary way through the mountains. The city at the entrance to that tunnel is the place where he most recently sort of passed a government checkpoint, and then between that and his arrest, he somehow ended up in the southeastern part of the Cyrenian Marshes, which is where he was arrested, but those are, several thousand miles apart, and there's no record of him between those two places.
Okay. Can we say that this person is the receptionist?
Which person are you pointing at?
I just moved him over onto records.
Excellent. Yes, excellent. Very much. Absolutely. That is the receptionist.
Cool. That's a lot of good information, though. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Recap.
I'm going to write all that information down in a second because those are important clues.
Okay, cool.
But you still have one remaining question. You have not answered a second of the 7 questions that were provided. Where are they?
Wait, I'm asking the questions. Do I need to ask the questions and provide the answer? I can make up the answer, or?
You ask the questions, and if it's something that I think it would be appropriate for you to provide the answer, I will ask you to. I would prefer to have you guys providing the answer wherever possible, but,
Gotcha. So I have one more question, though, right?
Yeah, and of the 7 questions, so far we have asked, how has the galactic conflict affected this world, and did anyone meet Fair and Full Moon? And
I was
what
going
does
to
anyone know about?
My next question was going to be number 4, but not us as a party, but how does the city feel about Giovanni? And I'm asking because of the conflict that we learned that there is between Vesper and Giovanni.
Yep. So the city's feelings on Giovanni come from kind of like three fronts. Two of them are split along political lines, in the same way that would often be the case when you asked, a bunch of people, how do you feel about the president? You get a lot of the people saying he's a piece of shit, and a lot of the people saying like, oh yeah, he's great, we love him. It tends to be the people who are more traditionalist and like fundamentalist, really like Giovanni. The people who are more progressive, transgressive, wanting to change things, are less in favor of Giovanni. I will give you, because I think that it would be hard for this to come up without this being addressed. One of the big political issues that there's controversy around him is his handling of the Cyrenian conflict. So the Western...
Did he call them a shithole nation?
It's infested with rats. The whole continent infested with rats.
And other Faunians are like, hey, but some of us chose to be rats. And he was just like, ugh, not our rats, those rats. Some of them, I'm sure, are good, I guess, but they're rapists, they're murderers.
Sure. Yeah, they're... So with that investigation, you find out that
I really dislike Prelate Giovanni. I just want you to know. Like, Roy also really dislikes him.
So the eastern half of the continent is technically another country, but it is a colony of the western half of the continent, the Pantherians. And lately, so they've been a colony for several hundred years at this point, but recently, in the past couple generations, there has been a big sort of civil rights movement by the Cyrenians, and Giovanni has passed some... Zai, you'll know the word for this better than I would, but the word for like a law where you kind of give a group some like table scraps to try to appease them without actually giving them anything of actual value.
Concessions that make it look like they are getting sovereignty, but they don't. They're Puerto Rico, essentially, is how you just described them.
Yeah. While also simultaneously really putting down additional pressure on them in a way that would not be very politically controversial in the West, in his homeland. So it's things like things like enforcing like curfews after a certain amount of time, and the typical colonist playbook of things.
Let's say that they've been forced to adopt a series of pass laws, similar to what Palestinians have to deal with in Israel, similar to what Africans dealt with under apartheid, where like their freedom of movement is being restricted. When they move between, so it makes sense with the whole, you can't leave the city area if you don't have the sponsorship of one of the landed families. Moving between the territories is essentially heavily policed, and all the other Faunians are just like, well, if you haven't done anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. But everybody who's got like two brain cells to rub together is just like, this is racist bullshit. Let us move around.
That ties in great with the other thing he did, which is that he nudged a bunch of laws around in a way that that citizens from his homeland wouldn't see and be like, oh, that's like abhorrent. but a lot of laws involving the appropriate treatment of police and government officials. So
And I just want us to know that receptionist Catboy is like relaying all this information to us in the most cheerful, happy way that he possibly can. So like, even though I'm talking about past laws, he's just like, they put awesome gates up around the territory and now they get to walk through them. And you know,
oh yeah, and a lot of
they
talk
enjoy
about,
it.
the other thing they do is they have so much discussion about inspirational Serenians who are doing so gret during this time.
Oh god, yeah. And there's Fawnians who take pictures with Serenians passing through these past law areas.
Angelina Jolie adopted 3 Serenian children. She's so great.
Oh god. I fucking hate this place.
Yeah, no, they're awful. Okay. So I think that that covers it. There's a lot there.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that'll take me a while to transcribe, but I'll try to, after the game, write down all these things so that we have a working like case file of notes and clues and stuff that we can keep track of.
I'll remember Prelate Giovanni. I remember things I hate. This guy is fucking Donald Netanyahu, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna repost our questions minus the ones that we've answered so far, and then give us a chance to add any more questions if anything else has come up. Would you say we've answered the what does anyone know about Archdeacon Vesper? I think we have. I think the thing you learned about that is that he's on bad terms with Prelate Giovanni.
Yep. I think we have.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Prelate Giovanni? That has been answered. Did anyone meet Farron Full Moon? Has been answered. Okay. And that leaves us with how has the galactic conflict affected this world? Has been answered. Juicy local rumors and why aren't off-worlders allowed to leave the city have not been answered. So, these 3 questions are what we have so far. Does anyone have any other questions, given the information we've come up with so far, that you would like clarified? Big things that I think would be worth mentioning at this point would be some clarifying information about the Serenians, or some clarifying information about Savannah Rolax and his stuff.
The Serenians, I would say.
Okay. Okay, what can we clarify about the Serenians? Let's start with just a broad
Missed the run up to this. Is this one of the questions, or who is asking or looking for information
right
about?
now, we're not asking any of these questions. I'm just populating our question list of things that we want to ask. So,
okay. What's the deal with all these Serenians?
Okay. Who are the Serenians? So 9. Aeneas, can you think of any questions about Savannah Rolax and how his heresy has affected the planet? I'm using heresy in this form. Somebody let me know if I'm using it wrong, but I believe heresy is the technical, like the correct term for when you have one sect of a religion that is being like officially denounced by the primary sect of the religion. That's called a heresy, correct?
I mean,
Yeah.
that is one way a heresy can be. Yeah. I mean, heresy is a pretty loose term. It can be applied to a lot of things, especially since a lot of governments and religions have kind of overlapped.
Right.
So, like, you just like break a law, like you stole an apple. You're a heretic because you broke God's law of not stealing apples.
Right,
So,
but usually it is like blank
in
thing
Catholicism, a heresy is a sect. I'm just saying, in non-Catholic religions, it can be essentially anything.
But I think usually when we say like a heresy, unless we're referring to an act, when we say a heresy referring to a group of people, I think it's usually a sect. Okay, so Savonarolax's heresy. Naeus, can you think of any questions about that or anything else that you would clarify?
I'd probably be curious, like, what... I don't know if I'm asking this in the correct sense, but basically I'd want to know, like, how his followers feel about it, but it feels like a stupid question because it's like, wouldn't his followers just like blindly be like, yeah, whatever he says, but like maybe I mean, like make it a little more general, like what do followers of this sect think of his heresy?
No, absolutely.
What do followers of the sect think about the diocese's reaction to his heresy?
Yeah, no, so that can be a broad like feelings about the heresy. What does the diocese feel about it? What do the followers of the heresy find compelling about it? You know, how have people reacted to it, stuff like that. So I'm just gonna say
that's a good question, Naeus.
Okay. So these are our questions we can ask next. Why aren't off-worlders allowed to leave the city? Local juicy rumors, any rumors about weird magic, who are the Cyrenians, and feelings about Savonarolax's heresy. Who has not asked yet? Paprika?
You, Eilish, and Paprika.
Yeah. So Paprika, why don't you go first? Pick one of these questions you would like to answer that Paprika would like to answer.
I mean, also a place though too. Like, if you want to stay in records, that makes sense. But if you want to go somewhere else too.
I'm curious about the primary temple. Is that like what we would consider like a church?
Yeah. So this is, keeping in mind that this is a theocratic government. Like, all the government offices are religious in nature, but the primary temple is the like cathedral, the place of public worship. There are many temples around the city, but this is the biggest one with the biggest congregation that the most people go to.
Yeah, I think I want to head over to the primary temple because like my train of thought is like if service has let out for the day, everybody gonna be out in the parking lot gossiping. So
all right.
Good thinking. That post-church talk, man. I fucking hated that shit. Like, it's over. Let me go home and play video games.
As a person who gets out of church and then just wants to talk to everyone for very long periods, every time I talk to somebody who is a parent and I can just see their kids like slowly dissolving behind them.
Yep.
I'm a monster. Okay, so I'm gonna give us a few people that we can talk to. Here we go. Okay, so I've got 3 people that I put here that are just like common citizens, I think. This one on the left that looks a little bit scrappy is more of a I mean, not like a full-blown, oh my god, oh no, I know who it is. I was just about to say, like, oh, you know, this is not a full-blown, like, Aladdin, like, street urchin kid. And then it was like, no, wait, this is absolutely an Aladdin street urchin kid who's waiting in the parking lot trying to hawk his wares to the people that are getting in their cars. And his wares are 5 fistfuls of Gatling gun clips that he recently acquired.
Paprika immediately approaches this kid.
Okay, hold on. I don't normally like to roleplay every NPC, but I need to roleplay this kid.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, how you doing, boss? Hey, I got some goods. Hey, are you cool? Are you a cop?
Do I look like a cop?
Hey, listen, I know about these undercover cops. But they gotta tell you, otherwise it's entrapment. See?
I promise you, I'm not a cop.
Aight, that's cool. Hey, man. Hey, you got any cash? You want some cool stuff?
It depends. What kind of cool stuff you got?
Alright, check this out. I got this earlier this morning. He pulls out. I'm imagining one of those like belt-fed, just strings of bullets. He just pulls. You know what it is? He has them stuffed up his sleeve like handkerchiefs in a magician's coat. He just pulls out a sleeve full of bullets. I got these bullets right here, military grade. Look. You can use them to shoot rats. You can use them to shoot hoodlums. Whatever you want. I don't care. $5 a bullet.
Wait, Ruda's just gonna try to take his fucking bullets back.
Hey man, this is theft. What are you doing? You can't take my stuff. Thieves, thieves. All of the people in the parking lot are looking at this very large off-worlder immigrant trying to steal from this poor innocent street urchin.
Alright, so Ruda picks up the kid with his toe, and then with his hand, one of his hands, he holds his mouth, and then he holds his sword up to the kid, and he's like, the bullets go back into my pocket in 3 seconds.
Okay,
Ruda, pausing a scene at this juncture would not be advisable.
yeah, at this point,
And then he holds the other 2 kids up in the air with his other 2 arms, and he's got all 3 of them in the air.
Oh god, the big blue scary foreigner is holding a bunch of fawny.
Yeah,
like
no.
Goro with baby dolls.
There are definitely like temple guards walking over to you currently.
Oh god.
Ruda's just deadpan right now.
All right, here's what's gonna happen, Ruda. I need you to make a skill check, and this is going to go either moderately well in that you get back your bullets, or very, very badly. So let's see. I don't think this is a charm roll. I think this is an intimidate roll. This is a textbook intimidate roll. So that's under soul. So go ahead and click your character, take an action. I believe the action is called negotiate. Yeah. And the skill you want to use is under soul. Soul intimidate. And
I'm just gonna use the Master of Demons and like start the process of summoning a demon.
fine.
Oh god.
Fine.
It's a theocratic city, just summoning a demon, that's all I'm gonna say.
And I repeat to the kid, you have 3 seconds before this demon comes out, and I don't know what kind of demon it is, so
Click
you
the
better
thing.
give me back my bullets.
Click the thing.
Do I have advantage on this?
Oh god. I think I have to say yes, because otherwise we're all going to die.
No. Oh, that's a good roll. I was gonna say punish us, bro.
Dude, it's just like
I'm in
stone
hell.
cold deadpan right now, just incanting demonic
Oh my
sentences,
god.
but going out far enough to like actually summon the demon.
Okay.
Okay, I want to say that I don't know what you're gonna say next, Bryn, but I want there to be somebody recognizes Ruda and his relation to whatever elfin diplomat has the embassy in this city.
Oh God.
I cannot imagine him getting away with it in any other way.
I'm sorry. I don't think he is recognized for his relation to the elfin thing. I think he is recognized for his wrestling career. Hey, isn't that guy who's a famous wrestler who's now an interplanetary politician?
So the kids are like terrified at first, and they're just like, "Wait, I'm being held up or yoinked up by Hulk Hogan."
Oh my God!
Jesus,
That's
man.
it. That's it. That's how we get out of this situation. Okay.
I can't remember my name. What the fuck was my wrestler
Your
name?
wrestler name? I mean, I remember the Tickler, but that wasn't you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Were you the Ultimate Warrior or something?
No, what the fuck was it? Ben, do you remember this?
I don't remember. Aeneas, do you remember?
Oh my God.
Aeneas remembers everything. Okay. So hold on.
So somebody recognizes me from wrestling?
So here's what happens. Fuck.
Let's just say you're Rude of the Rude.
Okay.
Rid of the rude.
Rude of the Rude
I love it.
is extremely good.
I
Okay.
fucking love it.
Here's what happens. The subject complies to your request. He gives you all his bullets back. Also, as soon as he recognizes you, by this point the guards are approaching, and he looks at the guards and then he goes back to you and he goes, "Hey, are you Rude of the Rude?" Answer the question, Morgan.
What of it?
And he turns over to the guards and he goes, "Oh, hey, officers, nothing to see here. Me and my friend here was just goofing around. It's nothing happening. You can go away." And he says like, "Hey, man, if I had known this was you, I would never have stolen from you. Don't worry, I only steal from chumps. You're not a chump." He gives you a little punch on the shoulder. So.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ. You get your
I'm so
bullets
glad
back.
that did not end horribly.
Ruda just like waits for the guard to go away and then kicks the kid.
No, but
And
at
walks
this
away.
point, definitely. Hold on, you can't walk away yet because at this point you turn around, you try to walk away, but there is now a crowd of kids standing behind you with like things they want you to sign, including one who,
Oh Jesus!
I think one of
All
them
the little
has-
Fawny and Cat boys and dog girls.
One of them
At
has
a
both
temple?
legs in a cast and is being pushed around in a wheelchair.
Like the more conservative parents are just like, I cannot believe this. This is just. But like, it's their kids, so they're not gonna stop it.
Okay.
Oh my God!
So, the subject complies to your request. Choose 2 bonuses. I don't know what to call this other than, I'm gonna call this a forward for now, but I think it is, people love the kids in this city, particularly the kind of like scrappy street urchin kids, love you from now going forward. I don't know if that'll ever come up, but people in Branimir are a big fan of you.
Oh hell yeah! Okay.
I'm also giving you an
All
experience.
right. Yeah, I
point.
signed everybody's.
Very good.
You know, I have 4 arms. I can do it pretty quickly.
Okay. All right. I'm giving you a forward called Branimir Kids Love Me.
Wait, is that what this place is called? I thought this was Versailles.
Sorry. The planet is called Branimir. Brassailles. I'm pretty sure. Probably got an extra letter
Yeah.
somewhere. That's fine.
Yeah, it was based on Versailles. Same difference.
Okay, so that's +1 forward was one of your things. So I will give you either choose between gain a string, answer a question, or gain an asset, which you can use to avoid paying a price later.
Okay, I'll take the asset.
I love
That's for the group, right?
So what is what is something that this kid could have given you that's valuable? Obviously, he can't give you anything of like monetary value because he doesn't have anything.
I think information, clues.
Well, in that case, I think instead of an asset, I think it's answer a question. So scroll up. So our questions on the board currently are: why aren't off-worlders allowed to leave the city? Local juicy rumors, rumors about weird magic, and then the other two. But I think local juicy rumors feels like the best one for this kid to answer.
Yeah. I agree. Let's do that.
Okay. I don't want to answer this one because I don't think that it is I don't think it's one I have to answer. I don't think that these rumors are likely to feed into the larger overarching plot. So, Aeneas, I feel like you would be really good at this. Let's do 3 rumors, and Aeneas does the first one. Hold on.
Are we making up rumors, or are we asking about rumors?
No. We're making up 3 rumors that are going on in this city, and I'm going to do a tarot reading for one of them.
Is this like in game you're talking about, or are you like legit doing a tarot reading?
I have a tarot deck in my hand right now.
Cool.
I think the first rumor, the kid decides to, like, since he's, like, so awestruck by, like, Ruta and his star power, he's just like, listen, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This city, the lovely city of Versailles, it actually has the biggest underground fencing operation this side of the galaxy. So anything that you might want, as long as you know the right people, chances are you can get your hands on it.
Hey, can I tell you, because this actually just happened in real life, when you say that, you see Eilish get so unbelievably excited about an underground secret sword fighting society, and then when she realizes that the kid is talking about fencing stolen goods, you just see her deflate like a balloon.
Oh.
Go on. Okay, so
That's good to know.
that actually makes a lot of sense that this city would have a big black market fencing, especially if it's the only place that off-worlders are allowed to visit.
Yeah, I figured it was good both because, like, it fit in with, like, a lot of the world building we've done with this place already, but just because, like, where else would this kid be spending all of his time when he's not pickpocketing people on the street?
What else was he planning to do with those Gatling gun rounds? No, that's excellent. Okay. I'll do one, and I'm gonna do this as a tarot reading. So I'm doing 3 cards. First card is person 1. Second card is did blank. Third card is to person 2. So person 1 is oh god. So person 1 is Black Newman, which is a card that is unique to this deck. It represents void, loss, corruption, and death.
Uh-oh.
I think this means, like, I don't know what this means.
Void.
I think this means like some kind of serial killer or something. We're gonna.
Could it be a
loop back to
person?
that
Because
one.
everything you just said, I'm like, Echo.
Yep.
Fuck! You're right. Okay, the did blank is motivation, freedom, or reward. So I'm thinking that probably involves a bribe or an order or something. 2, the magician, confidence, knowledge, or power. I think that. Oh God. All right. Aeneas, help me walk through this. Here's what I'm thinking. Echo bribed somebody in the Children of the Warp. That's as far as I am right now. What do you think?
I don't know if Echo. I'm just saying. I don't know if Echo would bribe.
That's
That would
true.
be a Mendenshire thing.
Yeah. But I feel like
Echo ends people and planets and things.
okay. How about this? It's not Echo. It's it's another more insidious, dark. Oh, ooh, ooh! I know what it is.
I mean, I'm sure Echo has
Fucking
had
Mendenshire?
to
No, it's the
help
cult.
her, and
It's the Demon King. Okay, so so there is I think as you're just chatting with these kids, you hear about a local like urban legend. This urban legend is not presented as fact. It is presented as like a cool story that is used to like scare kids at night at summer camp. But the story goes that there is an ancient god, an ancient evil being that exists in the warp that will give rewards to any kind of like dark magician who knows how to contact him. And according to the rumors, there's a secret society of people that some people will say exist all over the world. Some people say they have a temple up in the mountains. Some people say that they are a secret forbidden sect of the church itself. But the rumor has it that there is a secret society of dark magicians on this planet who worship a warp demon that grants them knowledge and power. And of course, the kids think this all sounds very fun and silly. Does anybody else want to add a rumor to the collection?
Yeah. In that underground fencing area, in order to move goods in and out of the town, there was also mention of a unsurveilled route out of the city.
Ooh, I love that. And I want to build off of that. An unsurveilled route out of the city that the I'm pretty sure I called them the SIF, Serenian Independence Force, which is the sort of armed militant Independence Force for the Serenians. They're like the Viet Cong or whatever. That group works with the fencers to buy and sell goods for their organization, and they do their movement through this secret unwatched passage. Okay, this is good. This is juicy. This is not where I was expecting this to go. Okay. It's just about 4:00, and I have to make my lesson plans for the week still. So
I got these term papers to grade.
not yet. I have
Sorry.
term papers to make, and then I'll have to grade them later. in a couple
All right,
weeks.
it's an American dad joke about like teachers.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, I'm gonna do our post game thing here, moving us back to the homepage, so I can look at my notes, post game notes.
All right.
Okay. Did anyone activate any of their archetype triggers? So I know for sure my character didn't.
Look at my archetype info.
The other thing, character injuries, no. Do we need to add any new clocks? I don't think so. Do we need to add any ongoing forwards, assets, new strings, experience, anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
If I really activated one of these, I'll let you be the judge. But 2 of my triggers are connect with someone about your homeland and have an interaction that makes you feel like you belong here.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't really necessarily an interaction, but like Paprika did mention, like, oh, I like it here. It reminds me of home.
Well, and I was thinking, even
Definitely.
though we didn't really have time to get this scene, I imagine that Paprika probably had feelings about hanging out with these like street urchin Fawnian kids. I feel like
Oh yeah,
they're
that's actually
very-
why Paprika went straight for the one that looked like, you know, like a street urchin. Like, not only was it like, oh, I relate to this, but like she also looked at that cat boy and she was like, that looks like my family, like the people that I was. Yeah.
No, so absolutely. So I think that's what's that for you? For strings?
They're both strings.
Okay. Give me a name for this street urchin. Actually, I can roll one up. These guys, I think I'm using Italian as the basis for this, so I'm gonna look up a little Italian street urchin name.
Can we just call him Benny?
Benny. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Add. I think it's under resources is where strings are. Give yourself a string for Benny the street urchin. I will make a note. This is Benny. Cool. Cool. Morgan, did you have anything that got triggered? Let's see.
Just an experience point. I upped it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that wraps it up. Aeneas, while it's still fresh, can you try to write as many of the like clues that you can remember as you can into the game notes thing, and then I'll add any that I can remember after that, and hopefully between the two of us we can get a pretty complete list of clues.
Yeah, for sure. And if I like miss any or I feel like there's something I'm missing, I can always go back through the game recording and catch them all.
Gotta catch them all for sure. Okay. Cool beans. This was very fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this was a good game.
Yeah.
Ruda almost killed us all, but it was a good game.
A little bit.
No, that was a good twist there, Ruda. I was not expecting that.
Okay, the two roles that Ruda had this game, one of them was
A critical fail, and the other was a critical success. Well,
Yeah.
not Chris, but close to it.
pretty damn close to it. Actually, I think for him it might have been a critical success. Ruda is not. Let's see, 14. Yeah, no, that is a 6 + 6 + 2. That's as big of a critical success as Ruda can do.
Yeah, that was a killer roll.
Was very lucky. Okay, this has been extremely fun. I'm looking forward to playing with you guys next chance we get. I have to end our recording. Other than that, any last minute business I'm forgetting that you guys can think of? I think we're good.
No, I think we're good.
Phew. All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys next week, in a couple weeks, whenever we're able to get together.
Next time, next game.
For
All right,
sure.
good game, y'all.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah.